What if a rocket designed to launch satellites suddenly became linked to a cosmic visitor older than our Sun? That's exactly what happened when viral claims erupted online. A Falcon 9 had intercepted something moving on the surface of 3I Atlas, an interstellar comet speeding through our solar system. This wasn't just another rock. Scientists estimate it's nearly 7 billion years old, carrying water, organics, and secrets from our star. In this video, we'll separate the myths from reality, what Falcon 9 really did, why 3I Atlas matters, and the bigger story humanity cannot afford to ignore. The visitor older than the Sun. When astronomers first spotted the faint glimmer of 3I Atlas in July 2025, they immediately knew it wasn't just another ordinary comet drifting through our solar system. Detected by the Atlas Survey Telescope in Chile, this icy wanderer's path didn't match anything seen before. Its orbit was hyperbolic, an unmistakable signature that it had come from interstellar space. Unlike comets bound to the Sun's gravity, looping endlessly through predictable paths, 3I Atlas was just passing through. It was a visitor, not a resident, and that simple fact made it one of the rarest objects humanity has ever had the chance to observe. What makes it even more extraordinary is its age. Scientists estimate that 3I Atlas is roughly 7 billion years old, meaning it formed long before our Sun ever ignited into a star. To put that in perspective, our solar system is only about 4.6 billion years old. This comet had been drifting through the galaxy for more than 2 billion years before our planet even existed. In a way, it is a time capsule from a completely different stellar environment, a frozen archive of chemistry that predates everything we know about our own origins. The speed of this cosmic messenger is mind-blowing. 3I Atlas is zooming through space at an energizing speed of almost 61 km per second relative to the Sun. At such a speed, it could circle Earth twice in less than half an hour. For a comet, this isn't just fast, it's hyperfast, a testament to the amount of gravitational slingshooting it endured in coming here. These kinds of objects just don't casually drift around. They're shot into the galactic void through some gravitational slaughter and thrown away from their home star systems to wander for eons until finally caught in our line of sight. It was a close call with fate. The comet came within $1.40 of the Sun's perihelion, that is, on October 30, 2025, when it passed closest to the Sun, barely skimming inside the orbit of Mars. Such sightings from a cosmic perspective are of great value, as the comet barely grazed your front yard, close enough to study in great detail with the required instruments, which, unfortunately, weren't ready. The more ardent of scientists could almost feel the ache of opportunity loss we could have had if a suitable craft had been on standby, as 3I Atlas passed less than $0.20 of Mars, less than 19 million miles away. Getting to the comet was a Hubble Space Telescope and the Gemini North Observatory joint effort. At that time, their observations were supporting their claim. A coma with a span of almost 26,400 kilometers had all the features of dazzling water ice, organic molecules, and silicon dust. In simple words, this was a bona fide comet that was volatile, active, and shedding bits of itself as sunlight warmed its primordial ice. But these were no ordinary ices. Having been born in some other star system, their making had been far removed from the natural conditions of the solar system. To study them would mean holding a bit of extraterrestrial chemistry in our hands. Imagine a messenger from another world arriving literally at the doorstep of your house, bringing with it secrets of a world that existed long before Earth came into being, and helplessly watching it slip by. That was how astronomers felt about tracking 3I Atlas. Every spectrum, every image of light captured by our telescopes was a promise, but it reminded us as well of the limits to what we can accomplish by observing from afar. If it's older than the Sun, then what kind of chemistry is hidden inside this cosmic time capsule? The Falcon 9 rumor mill. Not long after 3I Atlas was discovered, the internet lit up with an electrifying claim. A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket had intercepted something moving on the comet's surface. Blogs, forums, and social media posts began circulating grainy images and wild theories. To many, it seemed like the perfect secret mission, SpaceX quietly sending a rocket not for satellites, but for the first ever contact with an interstellar object. The story spread so fast that casual readers might have thought it was a confirmed fact. But was there any truth to it? The reality is much less dramatic, but no less fascinating. Falcon 9, SpaceX's workhorse rocket, conducts the majority of launches for satellites these days. A Falcon 9 lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California on August 18, 2025, carrying 24 Starlink satellites into polar orbit, a matter of weeks after 3I Atlas was first flagged. The timing was incredible. While astronomers all over the world were buzzing about the comet, the SpaceX launch was happening, very much publicly. Before long, the two stories collided. People made the leap. Clearly, the rocket must have been secretly retasked to pursue the comet. In stark contrast, physics tells a different story. As of July 2025, 3I Atlas was approximately 4.5 astronomical units from the Sun, near Jupiter's orbit, and speeding outward at 61 km per second. This means a spacecraft starting from the Earth would require an initial velocity change of about 24 km per second, or some 86,000 km per hour, to say that is the least staggering of requirements. Comparatively, the Falcon 9 can reach speeds to put payloads into Earth orbit and, with adapted upper stages, send probes toward the Moon or Mars. That is an altogether different ballgame when it comes to chasing down an object like 3I Atlas. Falcon 9 simply does not have the kick needed for such a chase. So why did the rumor continue? At least partly, it expresses a much deeper frustration. There is never enough time to prepare for the arrival of an interstellar visitor. With Oumuamua in 2017 and Borisov in 2019, which have now both surpassed the 3I Atlas label, none of them witnessed a single spacecraft sent to meet them. A little perhaps, everyone wished that, just maybe, someone acted, even if this was secretive. The Falcon 9 rumor was a wishful thought, that we hadn't simply stood by as yet another cosmic messenger slipped through our reach. It is said to be true for Falcon 9's reputation, its badges. With the dawn of SpaceX, almost anyone who knows the rocket would assume the Falcon 9 could pretty much do anything, as if indeed it were a universal orbital vehicle, let alone a matter of distance, having already made frequent, reliable launches. The arrival of something very strange from another star system feels just natural for minds. They will likely associate it with that company at the triggering moment, the public, most strongly identified with pushing the limits in spaceflight. Alien chemistry on our doorstep. If 3I Atlas were just another ball of ice and rock, it would still be fascinating for its speed and origin. But telescopes quickly showed this was something far more extraordinary. Hubble Space Telescope images revealed a wide, dusty coma surrounding the comet's nucleus, stretching nearly 26,400 kilometers across. That cloud wasn't just ice vapor, it carried water, silica dust, and organic molecules. In other words, the raw ingredients of life were flying past our solar system, packed into a frozen visitor that had been wandering the galaxy for billions of years. Think about what that means. These molecules didn't form around our sun. They didn't even form in our local stellar neighborhood. They were forged in a completely different environment, perhaps in the disk of a long-dead star system or in a molecular cloud that collapsed long before our solar system was born. This makes 3I Atlas a chemical time traveler, a messenger carrying material from an ancient chapter of the galaxy's history. To study it up close would be like finding a library of alien chemistry written on ice. Spectrographic analysis confirmed what many scientists had anticipated: 3I Atlas wasn't inactive. The tail and coma suggested active outgassing, wherein one or more compounds were released as sunlight warmed cometary frozen layers. Some of these compounds belonged to the usual suspects: carbon dioxide, water vapor, and carbon monoxide. But mingled with those signals were suggestions of complex organics, those molecules constructed from carbon chains that serve as the backbone of biology. If amino acids or their chemical precursors do exist inside 3I Atlas, it would be the strongest evidence yet that the building blocks of life are casually strewn all over the galaxy. This locks into panspermia theory, whereby building blocks are not confined to just one world but rather disperse from galaxy to galaxy on comets and asteroids. If comets like 3I Atlas can carry organics, then it may be that this and other such objects seeded the young Earth from far away, and in so doing, supplied it with the chemistry for life billions of years ago. Such a scenario begs the question: is life a local accident, or is it an inevitability on galactic timescales? But there was another twist. The instruments were calibrated with molecules in the solar system in mind, Molecules